Fantasy gourmet, isekai, reincarnation, slice of life, blah, 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 okay. I'm pretty sure we've seen something like this already, but we'll see. A boy named Pastry. Oh, hey! Good to see you, hey! How you doing? Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I am MrFonrath, and once again, I am here
to judge
some anime. I'm going to be judging the 2023 anime summer season. Oh my god, I am, yes. Oh wait, I forgot something. I need my nerd glasses for this. If you're new here and you haven't seen this series of mine, basically, I am going to be looking at these promotional art pictures of these animes. Based off of the picture, I will see whether or not I give a shit about the description. Sometimes, if it looks interesting, I will read the description. I will simply be giving my first impressions of what I think of, the art style and what I immediately think of the show based off of the promotional art. And, give you an idea of what I'll be watching and what I will not be watching. Without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? First things first, we have Mushoku Tensei 2. Actually, before we start, let me crack open a cold one real quick. Anyway, Mushoku Tensei, whatever the fuck that is, right? So, this thing is like a one episode, like episode 0, right? Of season 2. So I actually watched this already because I'm a little late. I'm usually a little late on these because I don't know. I don't remember that a new season is starting up until I start seeing the first episodes of the new shows. So I saw this came out and I watched it. It was interesting. I honestly, having watched Mushoku Tensei, and I consider it to be the most 7 out of 10 show I've ever seen. Bear in mind, I'm a massive fan of fantasy, and anyone who says that show is like a 10 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 is out of their fucking mind, okay? I'm sorry, but characters of a show are very important, and I think the characters of Mushoku Tensei are the weakest part of the show. Everything else is good, maybe except the music. I don't actually remember any piece of music from that show, so, I mean, compared to something like Attack on Titan, right? I remember Attack on Titan music, right? I listened to them I listened to them without even watching the show. I can't say the same for Mushoku Tensei. With the first season of Mushoku Tensei, I liked the world. I liked the world building. I liked some of the characters, the older characters, the mother, the father, and the maid. But honestly, the main character, the fucking redhead tsundere character, the fucking emotionless bodyguard character, I don't even remember his name. The main 3 who went on that journey after they got teleported, I'm not gonna lie, I think they sucked. Straight up, I think they sucked. There's nothing I can really say about it. I just didn't like the characters. But whatever, we're getting off track here. My point is, this was pretty good. It's just episode 0 of this, which is Mushoku Tensei 2. I don't understand why they made them different things, but okay. I'm definitely going to be watching Mushoku Tensei 2. I'm hoping that they focus more on some other characters. I'm hoping that we're going to see the cooler side of the show, because there's definitely some incredibly good moments in that show, but there's just as many idiotic wannabe comedy perversion moments with the main character that are so idiotic. I just, those moments, the whole joke with the main character being perverted is so overdone, and it's just so cringe that it just pulls the show down for me heavily. I've talked about how personally I believe that your main characters in your stories need to be relatable, but in a way where they're not completely relatable. You want them to be inspiring. You want people to want to be them, okay? And honestly, I can't say I want to be a fucking perverted 40-something-year-old in a body of a 12-year-old, okay? Perverting over whatever the fuck, how old girls, okay? And it's not just that. It's not just the pedophilia aspect of it, right? It's just the fact that they do this whole perversion thing as a joke, but it's not funny, like, at all. This show would be a 10 out of 10 if it wasn't being held back by this poison coursing through its veins, right? And this poison prevents it from going past the 7 out of 10. If they got rid of the poison, it would easily be able to get to its peak, which is 10 out of 10, but because they have this poison, this idiotic anime, Japan anime-esque harem perversion comedy thing going on, they just can't, like, move past that shit. Because of that, it's a 7 out of 10. It is what it is. Moving on. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. Obviously, I haven't seen the first season, or I watched, I think, maybe 1 or 2 episodes of the first season, and I dropped it at the time. Maybe I'll watch it in the future. I don't know. Maybe after, like, Oshinoko. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I haven't seen Season 1, so I can't watch Season 2. We have Horimiya piece of shit. That's what that is. Horimiya is such a shitty show, and I know I'm probably gonna get some hate for this from some people at least, but I think Horimiya is such a basic, average, mediocre show. I watched the majority of Season 1. I dropped it like during like season or episode 9 or so. I think I dropped it around when the main character cut his hair. Essentially, it got so stupid to me and like illogical. There was like one thing that I really couldn't stand was the fact that they didn't address that the main character just enters somehow the main girl's house. Somehow. How? Does he have a key? Huh? Because there was like one episode where the girl, I think, was sick. I think. Might have been the other way around. Point is, I think the girl was sick, right? And then the guy, straight up, and bear in mind, there is no one at her house except for her, right? And the guy just somehow enters her house. Somehow. How? No fucking clue. Literally. Because she was sleeping, and then all of a sudden he's just there. How? No fucking clue. And the same thing kept happening. He would like go over to her house. Like at first they explained it, right? It was like, oh, he was coming to play with the younger brother, I think. Or something along those lines. It's been a while, I don't exactly remember, but that was the reasoning for him to come over. But then the younger brother like found friends of his own, and then he just kept coming over. Like, what? Huh? Like, are you ever gonna like explain why you're coming over? Because like at that point they hadn't like gotten into a relationship or anything. I think they were barely even friends or anything, but he just kept coming over. They didn't even talk that much, I think, at the time, and it was like he just kept coming over even though the younger brother wasn't there, or it was just weird. Anyway, point is, this show in my opinion did romance so horribly. Like, oh my god. Granted, I didn't finish it, but like still, Jesus Christ, it was bad, at least in my opinion. A lot of people apparently liked it, and they consider it their favorite romance anime of all time. Personally, if you asked me to recommend a decent, like a actually decent romance, I would say Bloom Into You, the Yuri one. I think that was the name. That show is actually, in my opinion, a decently written romance. But yeah, moving on. We have Season 2? Season 3? Didn't we have a Season 2 already? I'm pretty sure we had a Season 2. What is this then? It says it's 2, but I'm pretty sure we already had a Season 2. I don't know. Point is, this is the Demon King, overpowered Mega Demon King, Sigma Male, Giga Chad that everyone likes. And I'm definitely going to be watching that. Then we come to One Piece, obviously, still there. It's always there. I mean, it is what it is. It's One Piece, right? Just like I said last season, I have only seen around like 450 episodes, give or take. Maybe up to 500, I don't know. Point is, I'm not going to watch it anytime soon. I'm not going to finish it anytime soon, so yeah. Anyway, moving on. Masamune-kun no Revenge. R, whatever the R stands for. Comedy, harem, romance, school. So again, if you're new here, I have a 5-tag system. This 5-tag system is essentially, there's 5 tags that I really don't like. And if any show has a combination of 3 of any of these 5 tags, I will immediately skip. These 5 tags I think are comedy, harem, romance, ecchi, and what was the last one? School? No, slice of life, I think. Any combination of 3 out of those 5, I will immediately just skip it. Even if they have other things, like if they have those things in there, then I will skip it. Here, obviously, we have comedy, harem, romance, school, which I will be immediately skipping, as you can already see the picture as well. Main guy in the middle, surrounded by 6 girls. Yikes. Complete trash. You can immediately skip this one. Jitsu wa ore saikyou deshita. Adventure, fantasy, isekai, reincarnation. Alright, let's read this real quick. After being shut in, Haruto is reincarnated as a baby. Classic. And amazingly, that baby is a prince. We've seen this before. However, he's abandoned in a forest on the day he's born because of his low magic level. Huh? Okay. What will be the fate of Haruto, who was inadvertently given 1,000 times the normal amount of magic by the goddess of reincarnation without anyone noticing? You know, I like the idea of isekai, okay? I really do. I like the idea of a fantasy world. I like the idea of having a modern person from our modern world going into a fantasy world and seeing what they can do with their knowledge. I like that idea, okay? I'm a really big fan of that idea. But whenever this happens, whenever there's an isekai, whenever there's a fantasy isekai reincarnation thing, they always seem to be doing the whole idiotic, oh my god, he has low magic level, let's hate him. Oh, but secretly, I have 1,000 times the normal magic by the goddess of blah blah blah. You know, why? In my opinion, the whole point of the reincarnation of isekaiing a modern person is that their brain, their knowledge from the modern world, that knowledge is what makes them overpowered. For instance, there was I keep always forgetting the name of that show. The librarian girl, the little girl who likes books and starts creating books of her own in the isekai world. Ascendance of a Bookworm. That's what it was. That show, in my opinion, is really good because, again, the main character, while she does have some incredible magical ability, she can't really control that, and that's not like what makes her special. What makes her special is all her ideas, all her knowledge from her previous life. She's essentially selling her ideas and creating new stuff, and you know, people take notice of all her ideas that she comes up with. You know, even though she doesn't technically come up with them because she has knowledge from her previous world. Like that's the shit that I really like. When a character puts the knowledge of the modern world to use in the fantasy world, that's good. That's a good isekai. But shit like this, what makes you special and overpowered is your 1,000 times the magical power that some goddess gave you. It's like, fuck off. Like, shut the fuck up. Half the time the problem isn't even the fact that they're like overpowered. It's the fact that every fucking isekai show does it the exact same way. Oh, my magical power is 1,000,000 times stronger than everyone else. I'm so overpowered. I'm gonna keep saving little girls and women, and they will want to suck my cock all the time. It's like, Alright, let's continue on. Bleach. Sennen Kessen. I haven't watched the 1,000-Year Blood War, whatever the fuck. Like, I've seen all of Bleach, but except the new Bleach, right? The new season. I've heard that it's really good, but I don't know. I haven't gotten around to it. I don't know. Romantic subtext, school slice of life. I can already tell what type of show this is just from the picture. Middle school, cringe, romantic subtext, shy characters trying to like interact with each other. It's like, it's massive cringe, okay? Like, I'm not interested. Here we have Hataraku Mao-sama. Second season. Now this show, I mean, it's not bad, but in my opinion, in the first season, I think the best part of that show was the more serious moments. I'm guessing it's just my preference, you know, the type of shit that I like. But in my opinion, well, the comedy, honestly, the comedy in that show at least was decent, much better than most of the most other comedy in most other anime. You know, at least it got a couple of chuckles out of me. I still thought that all the serious moments were so much better. Like, the serious moments were the best part of that show. But again, the majority of the show is comedy, so it's like, it be what it do, you know? Next up we have, again, comedy, horror, and romance school. I told you, that's like 4 out of 5. Okay, maybe I would watch something like this if the main character was a girl and the romantic interests were also girls, because I like me some Yuri, okay? I'm not gonna lie, you know? I like me some Yuri, okay? What can I say? I have preferences. But no, I don't give a shit about this. Next up we have Nanatsu no Maken ga Shihaisuru. This seems action fantasy school. It seems like a kind of a cringe Chunibyo type of thing. It's springtime at Kimberly Magic Academy. Of course, it's a fucking magic academy. Ugh. I'm telling you, for some reason, they cannot get away from the school setting. Leave the school setting. I want adult characters. For fuck's sake. Students are beginning their first year. Among them are skilled student, blah, blah, blah. Oliver, headstrong, blah, blah, blah. They student from a unit, blah, 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 blah. They, dark secrets, blah, 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 blah. Cringe. Like some fucking Harry Potter wannabe bullshit. Most likely gonna skip this one. Unless some, unless some people start like really sucking the cock of the show and saying how good it is, I'm probably gonna skip it. Maybe I'll watch the first episode just to get a feel of the show, but like this description and picture does not give a good impression. At least on me. Next up we have Zum 100. Zombie something something. Action, adventure, comedy, horror, supernatural, survival, suspense, zombies. 12 episodes. This tells me that this show has no idea what it wants to be. If you have this many tags, removing the zombies tag, you have suspense, survival, supernatural, horror. How do you have survival, suspense, horror, and then comedy? Makes no fucking sense. I think I said this last season as well. If a show has comedy in its title, or if the show has comedy as one of its tags, it is going to be mainly comedy. The reason for this is because even if you took this comedy tag out and it was just an action, adventure, horror, supernatural, or survival, suspense, they could still have some comedic bits in it. That's not saying that there's not going to be any comedy in there. Just like Marvel movies are mainly like a serious story, but like a lot of like comedy quips in there. But you don't consider Marvel movies comedy movies, right? They're action, fantasy, whatever the fuck else. Action, right? So when a show has comedy as one of its tags, that tells me that there's at least 50% of the time, if not more, most likely more, they are going to be doing some comedy bullshit. And you know me and anime comedy, they don't mix well. Most likely a skip, just based off of that, as well as the promotional art here. Clearly, why are the characters smiling? Like, what the fuck? It's zombie survival horror. What, like, huh? Nier Automata version 1, blah blah blah. Isn't this, it's like on episode 9? I think it got delayed or something. I'm not sure. I said this last season, I think, but I'm probably gonna play the games before I'm gonna watch the anime. Next up, we have Rent a Girlfriend, I think. Haven't seen it, not going to watch it because I've heard the main character is a massive cringe douche lord who is just unlikable, and I don't like it when I'm not liking my main character. Like, if your main character is unlikable, your show is dead on arrival. Like, straight up, I'm sorry, your story is complete trash. If your main character is so unlikable that most people don't like him, most people in the audience, most readers, most watchers find him unlikable, you have a massive problem. Okay? I'm sorry, like, if anyone ever thinks that a shitty main character is a good idea and tries to explain and excuse this by saying that, oh, that's just part of his character, that's how it's supposed to be, like, shut the fuck up. No one makes movies with ugly actors, okay? There's a reason why that is a thing. Because you want your main characters to be likable. And attractive actors and attractive characters are attractive, and they are more likable than ugly characters and actors. Just a fact of life. Moving on, we have Eiyu Kyoshitsu. This name sounds very familiar. Action, ecchi, fantasy, harem, school, harem, ecchi, skip. Next up, Liar, liar. Comedy, psychological, romance, school, strategy game, romance, school, comedy, skip. Same problem as that one, the zombie one. You have comedy, and then you have psychological, like, sure bro. Strategy game, psychological, that's probably like, oh my god, I predicted you would play E4 and I played E5. That's the extent of your psychological strategy game, most likely. But I suppose we can read it. I'm gonna skim it. Mind game applies, the sea begins, Academy Island, blah blah blah, wind stars, hoping to blah blah blah, so blah blah blah, blah blah blah, new transfers hit the scene, blah blah blah, surprisingly, blah blah blah. Ah, you see, surprisingly, the transfer student defeats the champion by sheer luck. Now he must use bluffs and trickery to stay on top. I hate that shit. Why can't you just make the character actually be good at the game? Moving on, comedy, romance, school, skip. Comedy, romance, slice of life, skip. Know the rules, and so do I. Level 1 Dakedo unique skill, the Saikyo desu. Isn't this literally the exact same as the other one, the other fantasy isekai? Saikyo desu. I am the strongest. Saikyo desu. Fuck off already. Basically, what this says is, I think what this says is, my level 1 unique skill is overpowered, or is the strongest. And again, it's a seller man working for an exploitative company, blah blah blah. Finds himself in a dungeon, blah blah blah, monsters. With the help of a girl, he runs into Emily, blah blah blah, check his own stats, find all of them, physical, magical, F rank. He's stuck on level 1, he's utterly despairing. He also has the drop skill, all S. The most powerful unique skill there is, can Ryota manage to survive, blah 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 blah. It's like there's like copy pasting these things, and it's so bad. I'm most likely skipping that one. Maybe I'll check the first episode just to see the vibe of the show, but like, Jesus Christ, you know. Bunjo, Stray Dogs 5, haven't seen it, can't say. Atelier. I saw the first episode of this, seems pretty decent. The main character is a little cringe, a little annoying, typical blockhead who doesn't really think about what she's doing and leads her friends into danger type of character. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty decent. There's some good world building, I guess, and I think it's adapted from a visual novel, I think. I could be wrong. First episode seemed pretty decent, so I'm gonna continue watching that until maybe it gets too annoying. But immediately notice adventure, fantasy, medical. No comedy. There was comedy in that show. In the first episode, there was comedy. Don't get me wrong. There was comedy. There was some jokes. There was some funny quips here and there. But there's no comedy in the tags. That's because they actually just sprinkle it in nicely. The show doesn't revolve around the comedy. Moving on, comedy, fantasy, romance. Yeah, this seems to be like a skip for me. Rurouni Kenshin, nope. I don't know if Rurouni Kenshin, like if that's like a new thing or like a remake or what, or just some other arc or something. I don't know, but maybe I'll check the first episode if it's like a remake, but I don't know. Otherwise, if it's like a sequel, obviously I haven't seen, or maybe I have actually, but I don't remember it. I watched it like very early on in my anime career, so this was when I was very young, so I don't really remember anything about it, except for the fact that he has like some sort of X on his face, and he attacked with the back of his katana or something. Fantasy, gourmet, isekai, reincarnation, slice of life, blah blah blah, okay. I'm pretty sure we've seen something like this already, but we'll see. A boy named Pastry. Boy named Pastry is set to become the next lord of the destitute dominion of Morteln. He's known for having remarkable talent for his age because he's reincarnated, and it just so happens he was genius pastry chef with a blah 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 blah. He retains his determination, makes you blah 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 blah. Many challenges stand before him, including bandits attacking domain, malicious eccentric nobles, and unfortunate financial situation, blah blah blah. The only weapons he has to fight with are his own ingenuity and love for making sweets. Can Pastry succeed in bringing happiness to the land? Okay, but like, what's this? I'm guessing this is another pedophilia show where this little girl is gonna want to suck this little boy cock. Jesus Christ. It's gonna be so fucking cringe. I hate it when they do this annoying shit where the main character is an adult who reincarnates into a fantasy isekai, fantasy world, and then they happen to do all kinds of cool shit as a child, and then other children start flocking to him. It's like FBI, open up! The other children are children. The main character is an adult. Mind over the body. If you have the experiences and memories and time lived in your mind from your previous life, if you were 40 years old in your previous life and you have all your memories and experiences from your previous life in your new life as a 10-year-old, in the body of a 10-year-old, you are still a 40-year-old. That's just how it is. Anyone who tries to say otherwise or tries to excuse that shit is fucking cringe, in my opinion. I'll probably check out the first episode, but we can only hope that it's not massive cringe. Next up, we have the vending machine isekai. There's a lot of isekai this season. Going to watch the first episode regardless of what I think about this idea, mainly because it's such a popular thing. Fantasy historical romance. 私の幸せな結婚. Again, let me guess, some sort of arranged marriage thing, blah blah blah. Is this marriage a blessing or a curse? Born talentless to a noble family famous for their supernatural abilities, Mio is forced into an existence of servitude by her abusive stepmother. When Mio finally comes to a magical age, though, her hopes of being whisked away for a better life crumble after blah blah blah. Kudo, Shinichi Kudo, commander apparently so cold and cruel that his previous would-be brides all fled. With no home to return to, Mia resigns herself to her life. Soon finds out the pale and beautiful husband to be is anything but a monster she expected. Blah blah blah. So it's basically another type of Stockholm Syndrome romance. You know that type. The girl ends up with some sort of abusive fucking guy and starts falling for him regardless because he has a sensitive side. Oh my god. Probably some sort of version of this. Moving on, we have Fantasy Isekai Reincarnation. Oh my god. And the next one is also Isekai. Holy shit. Salaryman, Isekai, blah blah blah. Can a former salaryman become peerless in another world? Salaryman will shut to death, blah blah blah. Don't care. This seems fucking weird. Maybe I'll check the first episode. Again, as I said, I like the idea of isekais, right? I like when an isekai is done well, which is why I'm gonna give all these isekais the one episode chance. But most of these, holy shit, man. Most of these suck ass. Fantasy Isekai Reincarnation Romance. 8 years old when she realizes she's been reincarnated, blah blah blah. The future queen and final boss of an otome game. She's got it all in her new life. Rich chop wit, boss tier powers, influence over the kingdom, crown princess, tournament show, blah blah blah. Decides to drop the maniacal villainous plan and protect the male love interests instead. So it's just one of those fucking idiotic ones again where reverse harem villainous stories again. Like literally we've seen this so many times already. This one I'm actually kind of interested in. Fate, Strange Fake, Whispers of a Dawn. Well, apparently years have passed since the end of the 5th Holy Grail War. Years. But yeah, it seems like this is another Fate thing. I've never actually considered Fate, the Fate stories to be that interesting, because the story itself is always the same. You always just fight for the Holy Grail, a bunch of fights, and you know, it's like, it's fun, but at least in the animes, there's no like big overarching plotline seemingly. I mean, I'm sure there is, and I'm sure people would tell me that there is, but in the end, when it comes down to, oh my god, we're fighting for the Holy Grail, it's like, granted, Fate Zero was really good. Next up we have a comedy, drama, romance, supernatural. This seems weird. Not my cup of tea at all. I can already skip this. Action, comedy, ecchi, skip. Hella skip. Eden Zero, haven't seen the first one. Temple, comedy, ecchi, harm, skip. We have this thing. This is a continuation, I think, and we have not started watching this, so no. Dark Gathering, horror, supernatural. After a devastating encounter with a restless spirit, ghost-fearing psychic, Keitaro became a shut-in to avoid... Of course, they're always a shut-in. To avoid additional spectral catastrophes, but no man is a haunted island, and Keitaro eventually reintegrates with society by getting a part-time job as a tutor, child prodigy, blah, blah, blah. He's in the academic genius, though. She's a talent, psychic, medium, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay, I'm starting to immediately see a resemblance to at least 2 other shows that I've seen before in the past, where there is a main guy who is essentially the Watson, the very short little girl who is like mystically gifted and is like a fucking Sherlock Holmes with the supernatural. We've seen this shit multiple times before. I'm guessing this is pretty much the exact same as those shows. So maybe I'll check the first episode, maybe not. Depends on my mood. Spy Kyoshitsu seems familiar, but I don't think I've seen the first season. Action fantasy. Duku is back to back. Interesting. Certain country in the demon world, Demon King was defeated by the hands of one of the heroes. Competition, blah blah blah. Imperial 4 Heavenly Kings Vermilio is in charge of the tournament. It's furious at the participation of the human hero Helk. Supposed to be his enemy. After receiving news of the fall of the castle of Urim before the final, Vermilio sets up to retake him. Blah blah blah. So essentially, the human hero is coming to the demon side and saying, let's destroy the humans. Where have we seen this before? Maybe I'll give the first episode a chance, but if it turns out to be the same thing again, where the demons are like good guys and like they're not that bad at all, and they're actually pretty good guys and the humans are bad, it's like, come on, dude. If you're gonna do shit like this, at least show that the demons are evil and tell a story from the evil side. That would be interesting. Next up, this already looks stupid. Comedy, fantasy, no thanks. Basically anything with comedy in it, I will probably skip. It is what it is, for the exact reason that I explained before. Anything that has comedy in it is probably gonna be complete trash. This is the second core of that fairy show. It didn't really impress me when I saw it last season here, and it doesn't impress me now. So again, this is a different show. This, like, literally, I could have sworn maybe a season or 2 ago there was like a literal show that had a promotional art exactly like this, except it wasn't violins. I'm not sure what instrument it was, but it was exactly like this, where the characters were sitting like this and looking at the camera. Next up we have Undead Girl Murder Farce. World inhabited by vampires, golems, werewolves, and other paranormal creatures. Immortal beauty and disembodied head, Ayarindo, along with a half-human, half-demon, demon killer, blah blah, and her loyal maid. Travels through Europe as the supernatural detective, the Cage User, solving supernatural mysteries while she searches for her lost body. So which one is the actual detective? Disembodied head. Okay, maybe. Seems maybe kind of interesting, as this one depends, I think, on how the show actually presents itself. I can't really tell from this picture or this description what this is going to be about exactly. This could go either way. It could be more serious. It could also be more comedy focused. So I'm gonna have to watch the first episode, I think. Next up, we have Ayaka. Story follows blah blah orphan. Birthplace, dragons, meets his father, 2 disciples who protect harmony, blah blah blah. This seems maybe something interesting, but it reeks of mediocrity. I don't know what it is, but maybe I'll give the first episode a chance. Somehow I have a feeling, I think it's because of the main character and how he looks. He looks so fucking mediocre. Why can't any of these other characters behind him be the main character? Why is the main character always the one who is the most mediocre? Who looks the most mediocre? But whatever. I'll probably give it a 1 episode chance. Monogatari Season 2, nope. I think I dropped the first season because, like, the main character at first was cool because I liked his motivation for revenge. But then the second they started doing this, oh, now you gotta work with these demons. Oh, you're actually now engaged to this girl who you don't know. It's like, we have fantasy music. Numazu is a scenic port town surrounded by the mountains of sea. Johanna, girl who has struggled to fit in with the surroundings since childhood, spent her days avoiding people in the city. I want to do blah blah blah. Maybe a first episode watch. There's no comedy, which is a big plus. There's no school, which is a big plus. There's no isekai, which is a big plus. Fantasy and music. I'll give it a one episode watch. See how it goes. Next up we have Aino Idenshi, a drama psychological sci-fi. Human doctor who specializes in treating humanoids who come to him with various problems and worries. Although humanoids suffer from diseases like humans, there are treatment options available to them in a world of blah 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 blah. There's a world blah 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 blah. I mean, maybe. Again, this is hard to say because, again, it could go either way. I don't like the outfit that the main character is wearing. I like the black fucking turtleneck, I guess, and the lab coat, obviously. But like, what's with the pants? You know, like what? Your appearance is so bland. I mean, I don't know. This could be good. This could be bad. It's really hard to tell. Moving on. This is immediately a hard skip. I don't even need to look. I can already see the picture, and I'm saying nope. Meitante Conan. Detective Conan, still good. Still, I recommend it. I recommend Googling the important episode list and watching those episodes instead of all the episodes of the entire show. We're now watching Pokemon. We have sci-fi Sinduality Noir. Immediately, I'm getting an immediate guttural reaction from what this picture looks like. Main character already is so cringe. Come on. We've seen this design so many times in the past already. Do something unique with your main character. Give them a look that is actually somewhat unique. You don't have to do it like you don't have to give them a Yu-Gi-Oh look. You can just, I don't know, give him long hair. Give him some sort of like hairstyle or something that just makes him look unique somewhat. Maybe give him some interesting looking clothing. But like, come on, you're making this guy look like a fucking Naruto looking ass, you know? Even Naruto is more interesting looking than this guy. The fucking short brown hair, orange jacket. It's like, come on, how fucking basic do you want to be? I don't know. I'll give it a one episode watch, but like, this gives me the feeling of very, very generic sci-fi that has taken like pieces from 17 other sci-fi anime and then put them together. There's probably, I'm already looking back here, there's probably a guy with white long hair and a mask. I wonder where that came from. I wonder. Next up we have this thing, season 2. Nah. I haven't seen the first episode. I haven't seen the first season. Bang Dream, again, I don't know. Nah. Next up, whatever the fuck that is, nah. Doraemon, nah. Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush. Well, Yu-Gi-Oh! Go fuck yourself. You ruined Yu-Gi-Oh! You fucking little shits. No, and no. That is it. Surprisingly, kind of a shorter season, I think. But I will say, there's a lot of isekai. Let me actually count all the isekai that we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Seems like there's about 7 shows that are isekais, reincarnating isekais. All of them seem complete trash, except for Mushoku Tensei, that is maybe a 7 out of 10. I will say this season is is looking to be very, very, very weak, very bad. Mushoku Tensei might be good, as I said, if they get rid of the poison that courses through their veins. You know, the poison of that fucking stupid ass wannabe perversion comedy that they think is funny, which it is not. If they get rid of that, maybe like shape up the characters a little bit more, it could be easily 9 out of 10, maybe even a 10 out of 10 if they do it well. But as long as they keep doing that stupid ass perversion comedy thing, they will never go past the 7 out of 10 for me. As long as that poison courses through their veins, they will not move forward. But yeah, there's nothing really like new that is really good, at least from what I can tell from this. But yeah, I mean, I think the only ones I'm gonna be really watching this season are the Super Sigma Male Demon Lord, Mushoku Tensei, and maybe check out some of the isekais, the newer isekais, but I'm probably gonna drop most of them. That was it. I have judged this season to be complete trash, mostly. You know, hopes rest on Mushoku Tensei to be good. I'm gonna hold my breath on them actually getting rid of that fucking idiotic perversion comedy. I hope you enjoyed my takes. If you've stuck around this far, I'm sure you have your own thoughts. I'm sure you might disagree with a lot of my takes on anime. Still, I hope you enjoyed watching and thinking about these animes with me. And I'll see you next season when I come back and I judge some more anime. Oh my god, I will, yes.